Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our board meeting for August 11th, 2025. Can I get a motion to open? Thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Vicky and Ms. Smith. All right, can we stand for the pledge, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, can I get roll call, please?
Alsop.
Present.
Abstract. Here. Present.
Here.
M. Smith.
Here.
B. Smith.
Here.
Sapolsky.
Stefanski.
Stefanski. Apologize. Ty.
Here.
Turner.
Here. Thank you. And now we're going to move on to our presentations, I believe, right? So, yes. Yep, we have presentation from the New Jersey graduation for the Community Eligibility Program for the 2025-2026 Teacher of the Year, Sullivan County. Please present that. Which was his, okay.
This one is coming up.
Okay. So Ms. Green, I guess is presenting.
No.
No?
We're gonna have first the NJPA state results by the Nicole Hanna, which is the supervisor of humanities, and Dr. Regina Washington, which is the math and science and technology supervisor.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for that introduction, Dr. Kodian. So Mrs. Hanna and I are going to be delivering the NJGPA results from our 2025 administration of the test. An overview of NJGPA is a test that is administered to all of our 11th grade students. This test measures our students' readiness for graduation in the areas of English language arts and mathematics. Both of these subjects are tested separately. The language arts component of the test is aligned to 10th grade New Jersey student learning standards, and the mathematics component of the test is aligned to Algebra 1 and Geometry standards, which are traditionally courses that are taken by 9th and 10th graders. Some additional background information on the test is that the minimum score to be considered graduation ready is 725. And if a student does not meet that score of 725, there are a few options to still show that they are graduation ready by the end of 12th grade. And those options include retaking the NJGPA, in the designated content area that they fail to meet the cut score in. There are also substitute tests such as the SAT that there are cut scores that they can meet, and also a portfolio process. For our spring administration of our 11th grade students, the NJGPA results are what you see on the screen here. For English language arts, we had a total of 163 grade 11 students that tested. 60.1% of those students are graduation ready. 39.9% are currently not graduation ready. And in mathematics, we had 166 students take that test. 23.5 of those students tested as graduation ready, and 76.5% were not as of graduation ready based on that spring administration of the test.
All right, I'm going to walk you through some further data, breaking down into categories. This slide here shows you our state comparison and our graduation preparedness rates from 2024 to 2025. So as you can see, we trend similarly to the state, whereas in ELA from 24 to 25, the numbers did drop a little bit, and for mathematics, they did increase. You can see in the last column here that our graduation preparedness numbers decreased in English language arts and increased in mathematics by 5%. Just keep in mind when we're looking at this data that these scores do not reflect just 11th grade instruction. This reflects instruction from 9th, 10th, and into 11th grade. All right, and here we have by program. So we break down our students. The green column is all of our students who took the assessment. The yellow column is our multilingual learners, which in our district, we actually more than doubled in 11th grade this year from last year, our number of ML students. The orange is economically disadvantaged, and the blue is students with disabilities. One thing I wanted to point out here is our multilingual learners and students with disabilities are our most accommodated and modified programs for our students, but on the state assessment, they don't necessarily receive all those same accommodations and modifications for the test. All right, and here we have our subgroups by race. Yellow is Hispanic or Latino, blue is Black or African American, and the orange is white. Any student demographics that have less than 10 students, we cannot display for the public. And as you can see here, our students did a little bit better in ELA, more consistent in ELA than in math. So we don't have the same trends that we see in other areas. All right, so what are we going to do about it? So for ELA, taking into consideration, we looked back at this same cohort of students that we had in 11th grade this year, and how they scored on the NJSLA in 9th grade, because that's really the first indicator of how our students are going to do moving forward. When this cohort of students was in 9th grade, if we look at a cut score of 725, 48.2% of them would have been proficient. That means that we're now at 60.1% meeting that cut score. So we have increased in ELA from 9th grade to 11th grade. As I mentioned before, the number of high school newcomer ML students, our multilingual learners, has increased by nearly 50% over the last 2 years, just at the high school alone. So future focus, we have offered NJGPA targeted skills assistance. We offered it during the summer. We also offered after school opportunities for students. And we targeted students to say, you know, you've been struggling with this, can you come in and we can work together and build those skills to prepare for this assessment. Also, we have our Link It benchmarks that we are adopting and moving into for the high school next year. We piloted those with our 9th graders this year, and we were able to see they are very similar to the state assessment, the way that they're laid out. So we get kind of a better view of what this is going to look like and how our students are going to perform on that state assessment. So we can actually use those benchmarks to inform our instruction to make sure that our students are prepared for that assessment. And finally, we've been implementing MTSS. We are using a data-driven approach. So this year, we're actually looking at our 9th graders that are going into 10th grade and their NJSLA scores, and even our 8th graders going into 9th grade. And then we're saying, where do we need to start that conversation with our students? We can't wait until 11th grade to prepare them for this assessment, to prepare them for graduation. We have to prepare them from the beginning. So we will be targeting specific students to increase those skills, inviting them to those after school or even during school interventions.
So taking a look at the math scores for this year, some factors to consider. Again, this test is based primarily off of Algebra 1 and Geometry scores. Our high school has had teacher vacancies for the past 3 years, which led to long-term substitutes, increased class sizes, and a reduced intervention services that we were able to offer students over the past 3 years to accommodate not having, being a fully staffed building. In addition to that, if we look at those, when this cohort of students started 9th grade, we would have been looking at 14.7 of those students being proficient. So again, similar to language arts, there has been an increase in skill proficiency at their time in the high school so far. next steps look like moving forward, in addition to some things that have already been in play, is number one, we have 2 new full-time math teachers that are starting to teach high school courses in September. That's allowed scheduling to free up, reduce class sizes, offer more classes, as well as class options. Second, we did pilot and choose to adopt our linkage benchmarks moving forward for next year. And this has helped. One of the things we found in our pilot is that this has helped our teachers really find focus on the standards that students are needing additional improvement on, and then we're able to develop interventions based on those standards that come from the Linkit reports. Additionally, there has been a summer administration of NJGPA, and similar to in the spring, we are able to target the interventions that are provided to students based off of standards specifically. So especially now in the summertime, the evidence statement reports that are provided by NJGPA, being able to look at them, look at the specific standards that students have been successful in and also need improvement in, and target the assistance that they're getting in those areas. In addition, the after-school opportunities, one of the things that data showed us was our student athletes were unable to take advantage of this situation because the NJGPA prep times conflicted with practice. So we were able to offer this year 2 sessions so that our students could go to their practices and then return back into the building to receive additional NJGPA support in preparation for that spring exam. So that's something that we look forward at the high school to offering again in this upcoming year. And then lastly, we have the MTSS system that has been implemented, and we continue to develop and expand. This is where we're being able to use data from common assessments, NJSLA results, and a number of other sources to create tier 1 intervention plans, which is able to service all of our students in areas that our curriculum shows that 80% or more of our students are struggling. So a combination of all of these efforts with the evidence-based research instructional strategies to support them is what's going to help move our scores forward. That concludes our presentation for this evening.
Thank you.
Questions from the board?
Are there any questions from the board?
I have one. So you're saying this summer thing is gonna start next year, you didn't provide it this year then?
No, the summer support has been provided this year.
Oh, this year.
This
Okay.
current summer,
And
yes.
what percentage of the students that fell below attended?
I would have to get that number
Okay.
for you.
Okay, all right, and then and then also, you talked about that portfolio that they can submit. Is that submitted to the state along with the people that are, the test information?
So the portfolio process is reviewed by our teachers in-house and then ultimately submitted to the state for final review.
So the
Okay.
scores are submitted to the state.
Right, so they have their scores, if they're not proficient, you can take the portfolio and then send that to the state and they'll approve it, correct?
So,
Approve them for graduation.
correct.
Okay.
So once they have the passing scores on the portfolio, those scores get sent to the state and they approve their graduation.
Thank you for doing such a good job, excuse me. Thank you for doing both of you such a good job. I just wanna touch on what Norma was saying, as far as the summer school program, after-school program. Does that touch on, every day, 5 days a week, or selected days, as particularly for the summertime? I mean, summertime here is 1 month, from July to August. Are they able to go from June to the beginning of September for their help? And is it the same way for after-school? How many days after school can they go?
So the after-school program this year ran 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And the main reason for that was because data from previous years showed that there was really low attendance on Mondays and Fridays for a variety of reasons. So we wanted to make sure that we could run the program longer by keeping it at 3 days a week versus staffing it with teachers 5 days a week on days where attendance was low.
Right.
And for the summer program, that's 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday.
Are you a teacher?
I'm not, I'm the supervisor of STEM, so I oversee K through 12.
Besides the summer school program and the after-school program, what other remedies would you suggest? Is absenteeism with the students a problem? Is it also a problem that we have such a hard time keeping good teachers? Did you factor that in?
So, to touch on absenteeism, anytime our students are not in front of us, they can't be learning. So anytime we have a chronic absenteeism, that's going to ultimately affect student achievement results. In terms of teacher retention, the way that I could directly relate that to NJGPA results, as stated in the presentation, if there's vacancies, that means that the students are in front of non-certified staff, such as a long-term substitute, or we have to split the students up so they are in front of certified teachers, but then that increases class size. And when we increase class size, our teachers cannot provide such individual support for our students.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions from anybody on the board? All right,
Thank you.
thank you. Yep. Now it's Ms. Colleen Green, for the Community Eligibility Program.
I'm probably gonna sleep there.
Good evening, Colleen Green, Director of Food Services. Thank you for this opportunity to come and share some exciting news that we have for this upcoming school year. Our school district is moving on to take the step of becoming a CEP school. What does that mean? That means that all of our students will be receiving a free breakfast and free lunch every day of the school year. I'm excited. This is something that's going to be very good for our community. It takes away the stigmatism of students that might not be able to afford our meals. Gives everybody the opportunity, no matter what your income is, that you could be provided with a meal. And in today's society, in what we see, it is very important. I know this summer we had our summer feeding program. We didn't have a great turnout, but we had kids that did come and participate. And I do remember a gentleman, and I call him a gentleman because he is in high school. He would come every day, and he was excited to come, and he got his free meal, and he would come back up and he said, you know what, I'm still hungry. And it really hits home, you know, that you don't think about, you know, where your next meal's coming from. So we gave him that extra meal. And we saw him every day during the summer program, all the days that we served. It was a daunting project to do this. It was a lot of information that had to be provided to the state. Our numbers show that we do qualify, so we are going to take advantage of it. We have this opportunity for the next 4 years to be in the program. If we do decide, which I don't think we will, you have to stay in it the whole entire year. What does that mean for our families? We still need them, and it's a select group of families, and I say that because we have the numbers for us to participate in CEP is undirectly certified students. Directly certified students are families that currently are receiving SNAP and TANF. So we get that information when I do a pool from the social services data. Those students will not need to complete a meal application. But the other families, we're talking about 1,200 students. I'm not sure how many families that is. We still need to get a meal application from them. So that is going to be the crucial job that we have upon us, because getting that application back helps with the funding for our school district with Title I and so forth. So we really have to work as a community, as a district, to really make the parents understand, yes, the meals are free, but we still need you to complete that meal application. And that meal application is also tied to many other benefits. Students can get a reduced rate on their SAT test. I'm not sure if they're still offering free internet, some of the cable companies are. And also it's attached to the EBT, which families receive $120 for the summer months for them to help feed their children. So it is still very crucial. I am gonna be doing attending all the back to schools, getting the information out to the families, posting on Facebook, sending out an email to make families aware that this is the direction that we are going as a district. That's all I have, thank you.
Any questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
Any questions from the board for Ms. Lee?
Yes, I do. Thank you for digging into the extra grants, and it struck home with me. I grew up in National Park. I was from a family of 10. I had 8 sisters and a brother, and my dad had the most beautiful job for a big family. He was meat manager for Acme Markets. He got real sick. We lost our father when he was 50. But when we went to back then at Gateway, they would give you a little blue stub. Well, everybody, not just our fans, but people that was really deserving of the free lunch, half the people didn't want to go up the line because of the stubs. You know, it was an embarrassment factor. So what you're producing now is a beautiful thing, because it takes that whole factor away.
Anybody else?
I have one.
Let Ms. Holst go.
How are you sending it out for the parents to fill out? Is it, I know it's like.
We are
the one-
currently working on that. It's
Okay.
probably gonna be placed in Genesis, and they'll be able to complete it through Genesis. So there's a lot of other details behind the scenes that we need to work on prior to school starting.
I don't know, just, I mean, that is old school, but when we sent them out, I do know that when we started that, then we sent them out before in their communication folders with their emergency card. And they had to fill out the emergency card, and then they also filled out that and the other information. It seemed like I got them all back. You know what I mean? Once it went on there, that I was having kids with bills for their lunch because they didn't fill it out. So I don't know, just a suggestion, especially in the lower grades, that it goes in that communication folder. I believe it's across the school now.
Yes, it's a household application, so we only need one application completed per family. Last year, we implemented them to complete their applications online, and that was a tremendous success. We had a lot of parents that were excited that they could complete it online, so we're gonna do that again this year.
Yeah, and it's because the Genesis platform is for enrollment also, and for grades and information for the students. So that's why it is easier for parents now to do it through Genesis, because they can do it, those ones that do not have a computer or a laptop at home, they can do it via their cell phone. So that's why she received a lot. Usually, we don't have that many difficulties with elementary, but as they get older, that's where the difficulties begin.
There's one thing I forgot to mention. Right now, the amount of meal charges outstanding and cumulative through the district is $130,000. So we don't take that very lightly. That's a large sum of money, especially when the food service department has to be self-sustaining, which means that we cannot burden the taxpayer for paying any benefits, salaries, any costs associated with the food service program. And I am happy to say that we've been self-sustaining for many years, and I'm very proud of that. I'm proud of my staff. They work very hard. And there's not many more districts that are self-operated, and that's a lot to be proud of, and I am very proud of that. And I couldn't do it without the tremendous hard work of my staff.
Is everybody else asked theirs? Okay. So I have many questions. As far as the directly certified students receiving SNAP Mechanic, what's the minimum percentage that the district needs in order to qualify for this program? And do you have the number for what the amount is for our district currently?
So if you look on the CEP, which is Community Eligibility Provision, you can qualify at least 40%. When you qualify at 40%, you're not getting the reimbursement rate for 100% free. You're still getting the paid, reduced, and free rate. We are currently at 62.8%.
It's free and reduced, Colin?
Yes.
Wait, okay. That's the
So
number.
that's the ideal number is over 60% is the ideal number for a district to participate in CEP if you wanna receive the 100% federal reimbursement for free. So that's the money for every meal served. We submit to the federal government and we get reimbursement for those meals. So we will get it at the free rate. Where if you're a much lower CEP school applying, you would still get those other three rates, the paid rate, the reduced rate, and the free rate. There's districts that only do 2 schools with CEP. So, you know, we're lucky that all 5 of our schools, our numbers, allowed us, to participate at the 100% free rate.
Awesome. You said it was, once approved tonight, it would be for 4 school years worth, correct?
Correct, that's how the cycle runs.
Is this run through the Department of Agriculture or the Department of Ed?
Agriculture.
Okay, well, we all pay attention to the news. I'd be way more concerned if it was under Department of Ed.
I've written down a bunch of questions.
This is in addition to the PEBT benefit?
Yes, so the EBT is totally separate, that's given out through the summer.
Is this going to change anything with like the quality, size, or?
No, it's
anything
not.
with the meals?
No, we still have to follow the federal guidelines of what we provide every day. It's not gonna make the meals smaller. We're still gonna provide high quality food and the items that we serve, so there's gonna be no change in that.
Will there be any changes with the a la carte items, like the ice cream sandwiches and all that stuff?
There is some new regulations with the amount of sugar in certain items, so all that's being evaluated right now of what items that we can have. And that also goes towards, especially breakfast cereals, a lot of them have been reformulated, so it's not just in a la carte items, it's across the board.
All right, I just wanna make sure, like, do you have enough staff to handle it? Because I know this is gonna, like, with this program, it's gonna raise, you know, you gotta prep the meals and do everything in the morning, then in the afternoon, so do you have enough staff?
We are working on that.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Yes, we have a constant posting up there. I
Okay.
think tonight we have one person that is on the agenda, but again, people leave, then it's the process of fingerprinting and health screenings,
But
and
you're
then,
still advertising and stuff?
yes, we advertise all year long.
Yeah,
And then, you know, then you think about sick days, personal days, you put that in factor, so we're like a well-oiled machine, we make it happen.
Okay, thank you.
And Colleen, the a la carte items sold cash pays.
Yes, so a la carte is
It's just a
available,
meal.
right, a la carte items like your ice cream, your baked chips, water, juice, those are available to the students to pay for them. That has not changed.
I guess, is there any plan on how we will handle the $130,000 of lunch debt that's already existing? Do you have any plans for any of that?
Well,
Other
I'll
than
respond
just
to that.
sending
I'll
out
let
checks
Mr.
out
Ferguson
to-
respond.
We eat that. There's been, since way back when I was the full-time BA here, we've made all sorts of efforts to make collections on that in Parrish's tournament. We had the principals call, we tried all sorts of effort, and the Department of Agriculture just said, they throw their hands up and said, you gotta do the best you can. So unfortunately, yeah, something we had to eat. We've been able to maintain profitability, if you will, only sustaining herself in the program. But that put a crux in it, you know, for wanting to do other things, yeah, because, you know, the cash flow wasn't there as a result of that. But, yeah, unfortunately, we kinda gotta eat that.
So it is part of the things that we haven't budget for, that we need to look for to cover for that loss. That's what it means when we eat that.
Anybody else?
Well, I would just like to emphasize what Colleen's saying here is hopefully the parents will get lackadaisical and not return the lunch forms. The lunch forms dictate the amount of state aid we get. There's data on that, so people can't think, oh, good, we'll get a free meal, that's it. These forms that have to be filled out won't get them a free meal. I mean,
Right, we were not gonna take away their meal.
Not
If they,
gonna take away their meal.
if they come up paid, they're still gonna get a free meal.
The state still, and everything's data driven, the state still needs the information on that form. Keep in mind, that is confidential, it doesn't get shared with anybody, just say we have a percentage of, 60 plus, but we just have to keep, if you want, lack of a better word, beating up on the parents and return those forms. And we hope that they just decide not to do it because I'm getting a free meal. So I just can't emphasize enough the importance of getting that back once it gets its state aid. And with that, I wanna just commend Mrs. Green here. She's done an outstanding job, not only just running the program, she goes after grants. And this is a big step, the community eligibility, she's going to lots of trainings on it, so it's a very big step. I commend her for doing it, it's a very, very big step for the community, so, thank you, Colleen.
Thank you, Mr. Ferguson, I appreciate that.
Thank you, Ms. Green. Anybody else?
Thank you so much for
Oh,
your
you're
hard
welcome.
work.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, and now this part of the session is open for public discussion. This meeting will now open to the members of the public who wish to speak on any of the agenda items for our district. I allow you 3 minutes. I just need you to sign into my left, your right. Is the sign issue over here? Okay, yeah, my left, your right. Is it a paper? Okay. Thank you.
So sweet.
Can I get a motion to open for public discussion?
So moved.
Thank you. Thank you.
That would probably be useful. Just part. Just pass it down to their dog.
Yeah, is it okay? Yeah, she's signing.
Well, no, we still need a pen.
Oh, we still
I
need
gave
a pen.
mine.
Thank you. You got an extra one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Get that one. Thank you, Joe.
Pass it down.
Go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Christina Vinson. I am the parent of a child with profound autism. My son requires 24-hour supervision and assistance with all his daily living skills. From kindergarten to first grade, my son was not adequately supported at school. During this time, my son's social and emotional needs were not met. Staff was unable to support him, so he was left in a comfortable space to himself and received the nickname White Lightning because of his frequent disrobing. Ongoing concerns were toileting needs not being met, destruction of property, aggression from peers, eloping, aggression towards aid, and self-injurious behavior. In January of second grade, I requested to look at alternative schooling for my son, as my son's needs were not being met. I was given a district hire who has a bachelor's degree and is registered as a behavioral therapist. Unfortunately, this support was not adequate enough to allow the concerns to be corrected. This aide did not know my son or the tools he has for success. As an alternative to out-of-school district placement, the school contracted Partners in Learning to support my son at school. From second grade to sixth grade, my son has been supported by Partners in Learning. The support created continuity between home and school. The same ABA strategies could be applied at both school and home. I was able to work closely with his teacher and staff without having to directly communicate with them. I was able to use my insurance hours to supply support staff with IEP meeting time and training time with my son at home. This was to streamline communication with support staff and minimize my direct needs with his teacher. His teacher's time is needed in the classroom. The big wins my son has experienced in this time: leaving his self-contained self-help skill class to learn with the higher performing inclusion students. He's been included in band and participates in concerts. He's been invited or participated in field trips his classmates with similar diagnosis could not attend because of behavior and lack of social emotional skills. In order to be in the least restrictive environment, my son requires continuity with ABA providers. His needs need to be consistent, uninterrupted provision to service to ensure he receives regular and predictable support. Between home and school, my son requires behaviors to be tracked accurately and consistently, collaboration and consistency with communication. Evidence-based techniques need to be applied consistently. Interrupting support staff disrupts this learning process and has a negative emotional impact. My son needs to feel secure at school and held to the highest standard of his capabilities. Woo! 2 minutes. Patty Bomba.
Just under the line.
Can you see the superintendent after this meeting?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm going to continue for Chrissy and read something that she wrote. She says, my son is 12 and has profound autism and requires 24-hour supervision and assistance with the activities of daily living. What does that look like? At home, many children require assistance with toileting, dressing, teeth brushing, and bathing, food preparation. My son displays self-injurious behavior and destruction of property. Hits himself in the head, pounds on his legs, breaks windows, breaks floor joists, smashed over 30 kids' Amazon tablets, destroys bathrooms, has the potential to elope into traffic, and will walk outside naked. Families with children who have profound autism often suffer socially and emotionally. Frequently, our families are not able to be included in activities that are intended for our children due to lack of support. Parents are the only ones capable of caring for their child. Parties, date nights, vacations, and time with loved ones are missed. Families become isolated and lose their community connections. Some of us are unable to maintain careers because of their child's behaviors and specific care needs. Some of us struggle just to make it through the grocery store with our child. Children like mine are a huge financial strain on working class families. I imagine our children are also a huge financial strain on school districts. My goal is to ensure my child is provided with the continuity he needs to maintain his progress in the least restricted environment, that being public school. Continuity between home and school is why his program has been a success. Without this specific program, my child will require a private school centered around applied behavior analyst support, where a team of specialized professionals can work with him. I take ownership of my child's education and play an intricate role in his learning. If we are to continue to make progress in public school, my son requires the support of partners in learning. It has been proven that we can make things work with them as a team. Why fix something if it isn't broken? I hope that you as board members will look into this and take it seriously. I've had issues myself with the special ed department here, and I voiced some concerns last June, and my concerns were not answered to my satisfaction. So after that meeting, it was only Mr. Ty and Mr. Stefanski who even reached out to question me about my concerns. So please take it seriously and look into it, please.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Thank you, Patty.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. My name is Leona Smith, as you guys know. Congratulations on getting the free lunch program. I'm happy. I know Casey, you've been working hard to get us.
I had
Thank you
pulled
to
back
this
tears
group.
when we were announcing that, trust me.
Yeah. Anyway, getting back to business. As this board is likely aware, federal funds are currently frozen, placing our schools in a position of financial uncertainty. I noticed on the agenda that there is a proposal to hire Ms. Christina Hunt as the new business administrator. However, I feel it is important to raise a concern based on her previous tenure at another school, where there were unresolved issues involving unpaid invoices and a lack of transparency regarding financial shortfalls. At a time when every dollar counts and our funding future remains uncertain, fiscal responsibility and experienced financial leadership are more critical than ever. Appointing someone with unanswered financial discrepancies in their past could further jeopardize the financial stability of our schools and undermine public trust. Therefore, I sincerely hope this board chooses to act in the best interest of our schools, of our school community, by reconsidering this hire. Please understand that today's meeting is being recorded and the public deserves transparency regarding the decision that impact our schools. The community is watching, and the outcome of this decision may very well draw public and media attention. I would also like to respectfully ask Dr. Kogan to speak to the public about the current freeze of the federal funds, specifically how this financial uncertainty could impact our schools. It will be helpful for the community to understand which programs or services may be at risk or have already been affected due to these funding changes. Transparency is critical right now, and clear communication from leadership will help build trust and keep our families informed. Additionally, what specific strategies or initiatives are currently being used to attract and retain qualified certified teachers, especially in comparison to surrounding districts? As we know, teacher retentions continue to be a concern, and it is critical that our students receive consistent, high-quality instruction from certified educators. Relying on long-term substitutes who may not be equipped to deliver effective instruction does a disservice to our students' academic growth. What is being done to ensure our classrooms are led by fully qualified professionals? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. First, I'm Anthony, the Gold Farms former financial design, and also very happy to be back with you. Good evening. First, I want to address the agenda item on hiring Christina Hunt as the new business administrator. I have here a news article detailing her recent resignation from the Montclair School District amid serious concerns over financial mismanagement, leadership issues, and public trust. This district has already faced questions about transparency and fiscal accountability, and bringing someone in with this recent history raises very serious red flags. Before placing Ms. Hunt's hiring on today's agenda, what specific information and qualifications did the board review, and what can you share with the public within the limits of privacy laws about how you determined she was the right choice for this role? Second, tonight's agenda also shows multiple high-level resignations, including our Director of Human Resources and a school principal. Happening within weeks of each other, this is not normal turnover. Leadership instability at this level disrupts schools, staff, morale, and student outcomes. What is this board's plan to address this instability and ensure we aren't losing more key people? And finally, I see $270,000 of our school budget being spent on contracted services from the Language Learning Network for just 3 teaching positions. That is a huge sum of taxpayer money. What are we outsourcing these roles instead of hiring permanent district employee teachers? And is this reliance on contracted services sustainable, or is it a short-term fix that's going to keep draining our budget year after year? Our community has been asking for transparency, accountability, and responsibility spending for a long time. These 3 agenda items, hiring someone with a troubled record, multiple sudden resignations, and a major outsourcing expense, demand real answers. Thank you.
I have it.
Yes.
We have it.
Oh, you have it.
Yeah, thank you.
Patrick Bomba, Carneys Point. My questions are relative to page 5, the educational curriculum technology programs. First is item 4. You actually have in there, this Achieve Beyond program is dependent on federal funds. Do you have alternate plans, or is it just not going to be implemented this year? Second is item 7, same page. It's funded by a local budget. The question I have is, what is local budget? It just says no cost to the board, but there is no explanation as to the funding source. Thank you.
Yes.
Right here. Anybody else?
Good evening, Greg Martin, Porter's Point. I just got one question surrounding the, new cell phone policy that was, put out there, for the middle school. My curiosity brings me to ask, why is there so many different policies in the district regarding what school it is? Like, why does the middle school have a different policy than the high school when it comes to things like that? Cell phone interruption is what it is everywhere, so, why is it just being implemented if it, not that I agree or disagree with it, but why is it so different across the board? It doesn't seem like that happens anywhere else but here. And then it becomes confusing to people that have multiple kids in the school district and all those type of things. Is there a reason for that? No answer?
Middle school's the worst.
Okay. We're gonna discuss that in new business, to give you an answer.
Where's new business at the end?
Yes. Unless you wanna answer in the, unless you wanna answer. I'm sorry, Amy, I'm sorry.
You're
Go ahead,
fine.
Ms. Cobb.
Amy Kai, the association president, I also am a taxpayer. I just wanted to say how great it is that we have free lunch for all of our kids. The 28 years I've been here, there's been kids that I felt, really needed this. Some of them are very prideful, even if they were in kindergarten, they didn't wanna get free lunch. So, now we're going to have it for the whole district. That is a huge win for our children. I just want to say I'm thankful, Mr. Ferguson, you're here. It's a hard time with business administrators. It's very hard to get them. I know Dr. Cobian has worked hard to make sure that we have a business administrator. I know she surely asked Mr. Ferguson to help us. As a union president, I've had many people reach out to me, and there's very big concerns about Ms. Hunt. I don't know Ms. Hunt, but as a union president, I've had 2 presidents from the last 2 districts reach out to me and say, please be concerned. So as a president, I would not be who I am if I didn't say that the union does have concerns about Mrs. Hunt being hired due to what is going on. Like I said, I know business administrators are hard to find. They're a dying breed in some sense. So I know it is a hard position, but as the president, I have concerns just for that fact of what has happened in the last 2 districts. And I thank you all for doing what you're going to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else? Can I get a motion to close public session, please?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second. Which one?
Ms. Smith. Yes. I'm sorry. You wanna answer Mr. Martin? Okay, so Dr. Cobian is gonna answer some of your questions before we move on for the rest of our session.
Thank you, Dr. Cole.
Okay, Ms. Vinson, please see me afterwards. I am aware of the situation, so then I can do a follow-up with you after the meeting.
Very
So
grateful
that-
for your time.
Ms. Smith asked about the federal funds. So I am happy to announce that the district has received the federal funds today.
Yeah.
As everybody else knows, yes, that is very important. And as everybody else knows, the Department of Education is putting a hold on the DOE and also on it affects NJDOE. So yes, we were very tense, which is similar to the question Mr. Bomba asked. on how we're gonna continue providing those services that we are providing our students, especially those in our district. We are a Title I funded district. So it's sleepless nights trying to see with the business administrator and the directors how we're going to supply for that. Because it's not only Achieve Beyond, we are very proud that the Board of Education has funded the early college program for our students, and that is affecting that program. So when we received the funds today, Mr. Ferguson gave me the good news that we have received not only the Title I, and I'm gonna bring the paper that you gave me. We have received on Title I, $1,030,000. On Title II, we received the $121,12 and $262. Dollars is more or less. His handwriting is not that good. But
I can count, I can't write.
oh, sorry.
That's what
Title
computers
III,
are for.
we have received around 62,000, and Title IV, we have received around $78,000. So the district has received an allocation of $1,605,000. So now we are able to run the programs, and we are not gonna get complacent because this issue is gonna continue, right? We're gonna have this process for the next 4 years, so we are in conversations how we are going to move funds around, so we are not so anxious waiting unless the public can see. We put the resolution for some, we have some carry over from the previous year, but now the principals have, we received the numbers today. Now principals only have until August 29 to complete the school improvement plan, because they're gonna receive the allocations of funding for all the programs that they have done. As for teacher retention, it is changing. We are finally, it seems that wave of teachers that were not coming to the district, were not applying at all in any of the districts, is coming to an end. It seems that it's more stabilized, and they're coming to our district now because of the great negotiations that we did along with Ms. Amy Tye, the president of the association, for our school district. So our salaries are very competitive in Salem County, in Gloucester County, and in Cumberland County. So I get a lot of teachers that we have been able to hire, as Ms. Washington, Dr. Washington mentioned to all of you. We have now finally not one but 2 teachers in mathematics, and we have found a teacher in chemistry. And these are teachers that were applying to all other districts, Kingsway, Woodstown, Williamstown, you name it, they were applying there, so now they're coming in. We have a really big, so big that usually teacher and staff orientation, we do this in this building, but there's so many of them that we're going to be doing it in the high school. And with the preschool expansion, we're going to be, when we finally open, we're gonna talk briefly during new business about the preschool expansion, because I want the public to be aware that it's a great celebration that we have, but at the same time, we're gonna have some pains and bruises that we have to go through. The LLN that it is in the agenda, that is a contract that the board has to do because we must offer our students world languages. And this conversation before I do contract, because it affects the number of teachers we're getting. I have a conversation, an open conversation with the union president, Ms. Amy Tye. And I said, listen, we're having difficulty finding world languages teachers. We still do. And now with certain laws that we have for even professionals from other countries to come here, it's difficult, right? So I have to still offer those services to my students. So the association and myself, we came out together and we say, hey, we're gonna continue actively pursuing, looking for world languages teachers. But if I'm not able to find them, I have to provide that. Our high school students need that for graduation, need that to be competitive at college level. So that's the reason why you see that we are hiring 2 world languages teachers and 1 ESL teacher. Bilingual teachers is another problem. Because to find a bilingual teacher in a district that our population of bilingual students have increased, you not only have to have a bilingual program, but you have to offer ESL services. So that's the reason why we have these teachers. You will see also in the agenda, we're hiring again another retiree that first I was explaining to the board, I have to get permission from the retirement because it would affect the retirement for this person. So I have to ask that department first from the state to provide permission. Then I have to ask the county office, the superintendent, executive superintendent for permission. And finally, I have to ask, once that is approved, so the different approvals, I have to go to the Department of Education where the Commissioner of Education must approve that. So it's an intense process that it takes by March, before schools have ended, I'm in the process of doing that, and Human Resources helps with that. So that is for that. So the programs are not going to be affected. Number 7, I'm glad you brought that to the attention. That's a program that has always been taking place here for our population of students that are in the special education. So there's no funding source there because there's never been a cost for now on that program. So there's no cost to the board, so there's no funding source for that. Okay, so I appreciate Mr. Martin. The cell phone policy. It is a procedure. The school district don't allow cell phones. That's the policy. The entire school district do not allow cell phones in the school, right? We always said to the parents, if you have an emergency, the students can call the main office, and we have expanded the use of security aids in the classroom. We had a meeting. The board members support the board policy. I know some board members were more vocal about that because it's affecting the school district and the classes in the classroom. The teachers are spending more time using and trying to get the students to stop using their cell phones. And it's not for the classroom use, because some teachers, I was a proponent when I was in curriculum and the cell phones began to be the big thing, right? Use it for instruction. And some of our teachers do, but in other classes, you're not supposed to be using them. So Mr. Mendoza and Ms. O'Brien met along myself and the curriculum and instruction to discuss what is going to happen in our district. And instead of enforcing the rule right away, Mr. Mendoza and Ms. O'Brien went to different schools to research how the process was done. This is not done lightly. We did a lot of background investigation. Mr. Mendoza and Ms. O'Brien did an excellent job visiting 3 different schools in 3 different counties to see how the Yonder, which is the company that provides the cell phones, was doing. And then based on that observation, when they met, they decided that it's better to implement it in the middle school first and as the pilot, and then move it down to the high school. Needless to say, it's not that in the high school, they're not doing anything. But Ms. O'Brien has already sent a response and an email to all the parents. She met with Mr. Golden and Ms. Edwards, her assistant principals, to develop that policy. She met with Dr. Maylan and myself and Mr. Mendoza to develop that. So we are in synchrony as to what is happening. I know it is impacting for some parents but it's always for the benefit of the students in the district and to improve that learning that you saw. We are growing in the assessment, but we need to grow more, right? So it's important for that.
That's a great, thank you for that, Dr. Kobe, and that's a great explanation. Just with a little suggestion, in the future, when things are rolled out like that, if you're transparent when it rolled out and discuss through announcing that and saying it's the pilot from them, and then it could move on to the high school, that would alleviate people like me or anybody else having additional questions. But I can understand. I appreciate your answer. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Madam President. Thank you, Mr. Martin.
Thank you.
That was all? Yes, okay. All right. So now we're gonna move on to our approval of the minutes. Thank you, Ms. Vicky. Is that what the report is now?
Second.
Thank you. Any questions on that? Roll call.
Alsop?
Yes.
Ashcraft?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Raising?
Yes.
Smith, D. Smith, M. Smith. And P. Smith.
Abstain.
That's it. Todd?
Yes.
Turner?
Yes. All right. The report of the superintendent. Thank you, Ms. Vicky.
Second.
Who was that? I'm
I'll
sorry.
give that to
That's
him.
fine.
The minutes reflect the fire drill and the security drill.
Yep, the fire drills and security drills, yep. Thank you. All right. Roll call, please.
Alsop?
Yes.
Ashcraft?
Yes.
Raising?
Yes.
M. Smith?
Yes.
P. Smith?
Yeah.
Stefanski?
Yes.
Todd?
Yes.
Turner?
Yes. All right, education 1 through 16. Thank you, Ms. Vicky.
Second.
Thank you, Erica. Any questions on education 1 through 16? All right, roll call, please.
Alsop?
Yes.
Ashcraft?
Yes.
Raising?
Yes on everything except 11.
Okay. M. Smith?
Yes.
B. Smith?
Yeah.
Stefanski?
Abstain on 6, 11, and all of 15, yes otherwise.
Thank you. Todd?
I'm staying on 11, yes on everything else.
Turner?
Yes. Policy 1 through 8. Thank you, Ms. Vicky. Thank you, Ms. Smith. Any questions?
Excuse me, Madam President, what did you just call out?
Policy 1
Policy,
through 8,
okay.
yep. Any questions? Roll call, please.
Alsop?
Yes.
Ashcraft?
Yes.
Raising?
Yes.
M. Smith?
Yes.
B. Smith?
Yeah.
Stefanski?
Yes.
Todd?
Yes.
Turner?
Yes. Finance and facility 1 through 10. Thank you, Ms. Smith. Who's second?
Second.
Thank you, Ashton. Any questions 1 through 10 for, finance and facilities?
Yeah, I wanna go over some check numbers with Mr. Ferguson.
Sure.
Mr. Ferguson, I have 12 checks to go over. Check number 080225, Gillespie Group for $12,307.05. I just like who's ever putting these out or making them, they can put it in parentheses, some kind of hint what it's about.
Oh, and the bill us to do a little bit more on that.
Yeah, no, you can't find it now, just get back with me with it.
Oh, okay.
All right, all right, so that's number 1. Number 2, check number 081500, Delaware Company Intimate Unit, $27,170.25.
That I know, that is a special education group that we just send this student has severe, needs.
Okay.
And they specialize in
All
that
right.
program.
Number 3, 083314, Penns Grove High School General Fund, $27,000.
Okay, they have a student activity fund out there that we go there and the payment for, coaches comes out of that. Some of the class stuff goes in there, so mostly is for athletics, that they have a separate bank account out there, and we, as they, incur expenses, then they can pay down
Very
that
good.
account.
Check number 084795, Argo Brothers Incorporated, $2,500.
That, I believe, is part of the, face or the branding, they call it the branding, that you questioned about, they put on the windows and the doors.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, how did the story get out? It was $16,000.
You got me?
Alright, I thought it was a good idea, right? Alright, check number next, check number 087149, been card services for $110,808.10.
And what, who is the vendor?
Ben Card Services.
Oh, Medicare is the, prescription.
Prescription plan?
Prescription plan.
All right, very good.
Yes.
Yeah, if I had some kind of little thing, I wouldn't be, I just wanna know where these big
I
figures are.
understand, yeah.
And, the Daniel, check number 087155, Danielson Group for $17,000.
And who's the vendor again?
Danielson
Oh,
Group.
Danielson.
Yeah.
That's for evaluation of
Evals?
teachers, yeah, that is the platform that we use to evaluate
All right,
teachers.
got a couple more here. Check number 087141, RFP Solutions for $24,408.
Okay, they're the company that services our phone system, make sure it,
Phones.
any troubleshooting, they come
Okay.
out and take care of that.
Next one, check number 087142. I got two, this is the second time this group came up. It's SHI, like SHI, like Chinese, International Corp. For $4,915. No, it's for $29,999. It's SHI, SHI International Corp. Sounds like a Chinese firm.
I do believe that's, some of our
Oh, it's
supplies for
international.
custodial supplies.
Yes,
Is that what it is?
yes.
Yes.
All right. And I
Try,
got a
I
couple
found
more.
it, yeah.
Check number 086990. Oh my God, you're kidding me. Listen to this. Check number, check number 086990, Ferguson Enterprises for $4,001. Is that you?
That's my vacation club?
Is that you?
No, that's all maintenance supplies, that's maintenance
Yeah.
supplies like that.
Okay.
I actually questioned that to my accounts payable person, because it's my son.
So here's this corporation again, that's SHI. It's, see right here twice.
Yeah, that's for
Okay. No, right here, go.
synthesis also. No, but Shine International
It's
Supplies.
in twice.
What was the
Fine.
first one you said, Mr. Ty?
This first one was SHI?
No, I think
No,
the very first one you said.
No, I think that's
You said
it.
something
There.
It's, Gillespie Group, $12,000. Check number 080225.
For $12,307.
Yeah.
Gillespie, she
Yeah.
said that contractors.
Yeah,
Gillespie
I
Group.
had to guess, I'm not exactly sure, I apologize.
I got them marked wrong.
These are
Yeah.
voided checks, that's why we're voiding.
Ready to continue? Check number 087055, Bonnie Gray for $15,000. For $15,107.
I believe that's a, subcontractor for evaluations or.
Eval?
Special aid. Yes.
And, okay, I was just looking about, I didn't realize that we spent so much, money. I see it all different townships, Lawrence Township, Millville Township, Bonding Board of Education, that's just funds we paid out.
They're all tuition
Right,
students, and they
okay.
go out there.
All right, very good. You did that one.
Feel free to email me
Yeah.
ahead of time for it,
Yeah.
and I'll have
Yeah,
better
yeah, yeah.
explanation if you can.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, roll call please.
All set?
Yes.
Ashcraft?
Yes.
Raising?
Yes.
M. Smith?
Yes.
B. Smith?
Yeah.
Stefanski?
I have one check number I want to abstain on, 086999 in reference to Healthcare Commons.
Okay.
Yes, otherwise.
Ty?
Yes.
Turner?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Personnel 1 through 29. Thank you, Ms. Vicky.
Second.
Thank you. All right, any questions? All right, roll call please.
Alstott?
Notify, yes to the rest.
Ashcraft?
Yes.
Raising?
Yes, except 2 and 6, abstain. Yes to all of them.
And sorry, what check is that?
2 and 6.
Number? 2 and 3? Okay.
2 and 6.
2 and 6.
2 and 6.
So does
okay.
she.
Okay. M. Smith?
Yes.
B. Smith?
Yeah.
Stefanski?
Abstain on 2 and 6, yes, otherwise.
Ty?
Resounding no on number 5, abstain on 2 and 6.
Yes on the rest?
Yep.
Turner?
Yes.
Thank you.
Any new business?
I just wanted to say one more time, I am so incredibly happy that we're going to be able to provide breakfast and lunch at no cost to our students. It's been something I've been fighting for since getting elected. I know my fellow board members are all in favor of it because you all voted for it, which I'm very glad for. But yes, just one last, is the screen still here? One last shout out to you for coordinating all of this and getting it all done. I know that was probably incredibly hard to get done, especially getting all the paperwork together. So I just wanted to commend you one last time for that, because I know now that we're gonna be getting it done, I know that's gonna be the hard part for you.
Thank you.
But I came from a family where my mom always packed our lunch every day up into high school, because the lunches, they were expensive for middle class families like mine. Like both my parents worked, and we still, I mean, you know what, yeah, we still struggled. It was still hard, and it's hard for everybody to afford food, and just the thought of so many people getting access to food at no cost really does move me. So I just wanted to say how bad I was.
Thank you. Thank you again, Ms. Green, for that. So now this part, I want to introduce Ms. Christina Hunt and Ms. Rebecca Brill-Moody.
So if you please stand, because they're present in our meeting today. Thank you for taking the time to come in. And we're looking forward to have a good working relationship. So the district will continue improving. So I appreciate taking the time to come in here tonight.
Thank you for the opportunity. You're welcome, thank you.
May I add one thing, Madam President? I will say to our new business administrator, I apologize, which one is I will say, my other big project, in addition to Mr. Ty as well, is getting solar through the school district. I know we pushed, our previous board administrator on that plenty, and I've made sure our interim has been on top of that as well, to the extent that he can. So just know that myself, Mr. Ty, and other members of the board, that's an important priority for us, and I hope you'll be able to hit the ground running on that.
All right, anybody else?
Yes, I'd like to take a moment to give a shout out on the new business to, I say it every month, to the groundskeepers, especially what they're going through in the heat. It's been a hot summer. All the schools, like I said, I still, even though school's not in, I still go around. And I look at all the properties and what's been done, what's, not, you know, everything looks really nice and up to par. And I have one more item. I know it's been in the paper or media or Facebook, this travesty, what happened after they got done doing the brand new tennis courts. But me personally, I can't say for a couple young juveniles, which maybe we should have had cameras on it, and it wasn't as bad as they say it is. They went out there right away. A few, Chucky, Weggles and a couple of his guys, he went out, they cleaned it up, whipped it off. But I think it's a damn shame to let the rest of the community that use those courts all the time in the summer, all the time in the fall, in the evenings, in the morning. I just think that maybe we can come up with another solution.
We're looking into that to
Okay.
see, so that they prevent, because right now it was just the fresh paint that is
Right,
costly and we have to
right.
redo it. We're concerned that what's gonna be next, they won't be closed permanently.
Yeah,
That's why it's just temporarily,
they dry up a little bit. But
to
how-
see.
When that was done, nobody, was no cameras around nowhere?
We look at the cameras, but did not capture that. We will have to put special equipment, and then we are concerned that it can be vandalized also.
Alright.
So we're looking at that, that's why it's a temporary close, and it was announced to the families, cause we understand they use, the tennis court a lot.
Right.
Any other new business?
I see
Okay,
them a lot.
old business. For the preschool expansion, Mr. Ferguson, you wanna, expand on that?
Well, the Quabbin School is going along right now. They're doing the, will be under a slab for the plumbing, electric, and what have you. We hope within the next 2 weeks, they'll actually will be pouring the foundation for the building. And once that starts, then you're gonna see a lot going up, will be the framing out and what have you. So it's going along, it's gonna be, hopefully, I think the schedule is next year. And there's a lot of work to be done, but they intend to be working diligently. Weather permitting is always an issue. We will be addressing parents and staff. There's gonna be some issues with Smith Avenue and some access to the building, what have you, and we hope we get the cooperation of everybody along with that when we really got a full staff in there working. I mean, there's a full staff now for doing with the frame out and just putting the block and the foundation. So things will start showing up, progressing a lot more quickly once the slab's put in. So that's where we are with that.
Yeah, there will be some changes, and we want the community to be aware that, we know Smith Avenue between the Paul W. Carlton and the middle school is used constantly, so it's gonna be some rerouting, and the closing of the street might be not for a whole week, but the days when the big cement trucks are gonna come in. And Mr. Mendoza, Mr. Baines, myself, Mr. Ferguson, Wychinski Company, we're working together with the Pennsboro Borough to ensure that we make a good route, and we're gonna it's gonna be difficult, like I said. It's exciting, but we're gonna have some bumps and bruises, but in the end, we're servicing what we're here for, right? The students in our community. So we want to ensure everybody's aware. We will be notifying, we'll be sending notes. So we appreciate that for those of you that are here, are able to voicing that information and disseminating that information. And we will be doing the same, but there will be, as Mr. Ferguson mentioned, closures of the sidewalk, rerouting of the cars, even probably rerouting students going down, because it's a necessary evil, like we call it, for the future of the preschool expansion. Thank you, Madam President.
Yeah, Madam President, I have one more shout out to the fact that the cell phone how it took place and went about. I give thanks to Mr. Mendoza, the bonus, Anwar, Mrs. O'Brien, and who's the other young lady, the principal? Miss Edwards. Thanks for getting together on it, and I think it's gonna be great, but thanks for having the initiative to get it going so quick this far. Yeah.
Anybody else? Alright, motion to close, please.
So moved.
Thank you,
Second.
thank you. I was quick with that.